What methods do you have for coping with anxiety? Meditation and physical activity. I'm more active into these activities somehow. I'm doing great and feeling good of what I've accomplished, and I am proud. Journaling has been a game changer for me. It's like having a low budget therapist who's available 24/7. I write down everything that's bugging me, and somehow seeing it on paper makes it seem more manageable. Plus, doodling in the margins is a nice bonus stress reliever. When I'm sitting in the moment of anxiety, I do this. I breathe. A deep, long inhale, a comfortable, collapsing exhale. I focus on my breathing and my working lungs and not on whatever problem has triggered my anxiety. Once I feel calmer, I look at the problem that's causing the anxiety. I imagine the worst case scenario. What if my deepest worry actually materialized? I then figure out what I would do if that actually happened. Once I realize that, even though it's not something I wish to go through, that there is a path out of it, I feel calmer and in more control. I think back to other times I've felt this way, and the eventual outcome wasn't as difficult to deal with as I had imagined. For me, it's the loss of control and the unknown that causes my mental and emotional discomfort. Once I have an idea of a possible plan forward, it doesn't feel so scary. Hope this is of some help to you. When I'm sitting in the moment of anxiety, I do this. As someone going through shit right now, thank you, everyone. Edit. Didn't expect to get this much attention. But like I said below, I'll be okay. Life has its ups and downs, and this is just one stretch of the journey. Many people suggested meds and therapy. I'm a huge supporter of mental health meds and destroying the fucking stigma linked with taking them. I'll be okay. And if you're going through shit too, you'll be okay too. Sometimes we get bombarded and just need to take shelter for a bit for the danger to pass. Acutely or aggregately? Acutely, try to focus on the present moment. Look around, take some deep breaths, and assess that nothing is currently wrong or disastrous, etc., in that moment. Additionally, it may be helpful to engage in something such as a hobby, a walk, etc. to distract yourself. Aggregately, and hear me when I say this, do something that will fill your bucket daily, weekly, etc. Your bucket will fill 2 to 3% each day and be emptied out 1-2% from life's stupidities. 6 months will go by and you'll be 30 to 40% better. 12 to 18 months will go by and you'll be 90% better. Just trust the process and take care of yourself and never give up. Many people here have given great lifestyle advice like exercise and meditation and journaling, so I want to jump in with an in-the-moment practice that helps me. It's based on the adage that you are not your thoughts, which basically means that even if you think something, it doesn't define you. It's not you. It's just a thought that's crossing through your brain. You can choose to pick that thought up and hold it, or you can stand back and watch it pass by and let the next thought come. So what I've done is sort of imagine my thoughts as being in little boxes on a conveyor belt. As they come, I pick them up and open them and see what's inside. And if it's an anxiety thought, I imagine myself just closing the box and putting it back on the belt and saying, thanks, but I'll wait for the next one, and letting it travel away. It sounds silly and trite, but it's actually helped me a surprising amount to deal with acute spikes. Good luck, OP. You are doing better than your anxieties want you to think you are. Depends on the type of anxiety, and my type of anxiety bingo card is about full, so I do lots of things. Health anxiety, square breathing, and not Googling stuff. Focusing on times I've gotten through periods of it before also helps. General anxiety, as hard as it is, distraction, literally any task that might just stop me spiraling. Listening to happy music, something I associate with having a good time or a happy memory. Combating it with positive thoughts, and also remembering that whatever I'm worrying about might not come to pass. I know it may sound cliché, but yoga has helped me with a lot of my anxiety too, and also discussing it and normalizing it. Often when I was a child, I was shouted at for panicking, which just made it worse. Being kind to myself and accepting I have it has really improved how I cope with it. Key secret is understanding that anxiety, specifically anxiety/panic attacks, are natural, helpful biological mechanisms, and to redefine your relationship to them. This sounds heady, but it's really grounded. I used to have anxiety attacks like day to night for 5 years, couple reasons why, and also a few reasons why I didn't want to take meds. But basically, I had unlimited time to go find a solution. And so I tried everything. Almost everything out there is meant to help symptoms. Very little helps you battle the root cause. What worked for me was discovering that panic and anxiety attacks, specifically, are just insanely good ways for our body to dump excess stress energy. We are all walking around with existential anxiety, task anxiety, identity anxiety, etc., etc. All of these stressors created by our environment and our worldviews, which dictate how we relate to our environment. Your mind and your body do not like this. It is not pleasant. So they are both in constant pursuit of some way to ditch this energy, especially when it becomes overwhelming. Addictions, avoidance, etc. They are all different ways for your body-mind to ditch this energy. But when your body finds panic attacks, oh man, it loves them. For many people, panic attacks shut them down and force them to dump all of this stress energy in a very short period of time. This is extremely unpleasant, but it is very effective at what your body wants to do. So what's the solution? Basically, just redefining your relationship to panic anxiety attacks. Understand they are purely mechanical, understand they are effective, understand they serve a need, and then just allow them to happen. The more you recognize and allow them to happen, as opposed to fighting them, the less and less intrusive they become. If you can honestly welcome them when they happen, you will absolutely inoculate yourself against them. I used to have panic attacks daily, all day, for years. Now, if I do have one, I'm like, oh, I guess I'm having a panic attack. It is gone in 30 seconds, and it is a fraction of the intensity it used to be. The harder part is adjusting your environment and worldview so that you don't constantly build up this existential or task-based stress, but that's the entire point, goal, journey of your life. I think how I'm supposed to do that part for you. I like to divide anxiety into two different types. 1, momentary anxiety, and 2, structural anxiety. The first is when you get an anxiety attack. You are doing something and then it hits you. I personally get paralyzed, need to lie down, or seek a quick hit from one of my vices. For this type, I think people in the thread have been giving great advice. Journaling, meditation, exercise, coming back to a ritual like drinking tea, taking a cold shower, or anything like that. But what has improved my life the most is dealing with structural anxiety. For example, one of the things that made me feel momentary anxiety is realizing that I'm behind other people in life. I would be browsing social media or something like that and see an accomplishment somebody else had shared. That made me feel like I was behind in life, throwing away my potential, etc., and lead to an anxiety attack. It sank. What I started doing is attacking the source of anxiety. It is natural for people to have accomplishments that I don't, the same way I have accomplishments that they don't. Even then, it is okay for someone to accomplish something. Life is not a zero-sum game, and we all have different paths. And why am I browsing social media if it seldom makes me feel happy and often makes me feel desperate?